Hi, this is Judy Bonilla with Encore Chat, and today I'm talking to Matt Riemann. This is an exciting conversation because Matt has actually taken a passion and turned it for the good and is truly making a difference. And I call him a health futurist. I saw Jay McGonigal last week at South by Southwest, and when I saw her speak, I actually thought of Matt because I thought he sees the future and is taking steps to make it happen. This is going to be an exciting conversation. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Matt to do a little bit of a self-introduction. Thanks for joining us. Matt, turn it over to you.
Thanks, Judi. It's great to be here with you today and to share a little bit about what we're up to with your audience. And I guess an introduction in this space, we're certainly a well-established organization in many different aspects. My background itself has been in business, in health, in medicine, and I came across a very large health challenge myself. In fact, I was diagnosed with a terminal illness quite a number of years ago, and with a life expectancy of 10 years, I had a few things that I needed to go and find out about. And that led me down a very interesting path and onto the mission and the vision that I share today. And that's about changing world health. And we're on a very big mission to impact the lives of many, many millions of people in a very, very big way. And over the last 10 years, we've put together an international team of a lot of leading doctors and scientists and practitioners and ambassadors all over the world to work towards this common mission of changing and impacting world health for the better. The fact is that at this very point in time, we've got over 3 billion people that are suffering from chronic pain and disease, and we need to be turning that around in a very big way. So we've put together a lot of information, a lot of research over many, many years, and we've been able to collate this into a way where we can combine a lot of science and medicine and other information that's out there into a way that people can find out what's right for them. And it's really helping people understand exactly how unique they are and how different they are to everybody else, and how we can actually access that information right now. We call that Personal Health 360. Right. And this is what I've been predominantly working on with my time for quite a long time. I own 7 businesses in health and medicine that sort of led me to this point in time. So we've been through a lot of different transitions in time, and now our focus is really on making a huge difference in people's lives and impacting everybody's life all around the world, with the understanding that everybody is so different, and it's very confusing. Health is very confusing for people these days, and so we're trying to make it really simple and help people understand exactly what's right for them, for their body, for their climate they live in, for their height, for their weight, right, at this moment in time. And so that's really, I guess, what we're spending most of our time on is that concept that we call PH360, and really looking to make a big difference in the world.
Yeah, and I'll interject here on a couple notes. One is there was a National Geographic magazine in May of 2013, Generation Alpha, which are those that are being born in the last few years, are projected to live to be about 120. So at age 120, right now our life expectancy is about 80, depending on gender. I always round it up to the higher because you never know, and I want to have that longevity bonus. But many of us have at least one chronic condition after age 50 if you're an American. And often by the time when people are in their mid-80s, it's often multiple chronic conditions which are layered with medications and oftentimes can lead to risk factors such as fall, social isolation. And so when as we live longer, if we are on the current health track that we're on, that can either be with maybe something like PH360 with personalized health that can help us improve our outcomes. Our later life can be full of reinvention, productivity, legacy building, or filled with chronic conditions. I know what I would prefer for my life. So again, I wanted to interject and share that with you. And the other thing, I was at South by, and Todd Rose out of Harvard actually did a study on the myth of average. And Matt just spoke to it. There is no average. And so much of what is, I'll say, the mainstream health is built around is an average that truly doesn't exist. And the reason why I bring this, it was such a stark contrast, and I actually have a blog post on it, I believe, I'll double check my notes. He showed a colleague of his at Harvard was doing, I'll say, 1,000 brain scans, and they came up with the normal. Well, when that colleague went to actually find that normal brain scan within that 1,000 that was normal, there was none. Each brain scan doing this the same activity was different. There were similarities, but there was no average. So again, one size fits all healthcare, just like education fits no one. So Matt, I'm a strong believer in that we really need to look at the customization of healthcare. You mentioned you had a health challenge that you've conquered, overcome, and learned about, and that's what led you on this path. Can you speak up to that entrepreneurial spirit that got you this far, and what the next stage is?
Yeah, sure. Well, I think, and it's a great points that you raised there, Judi. I think that concept is so important. Like for my health challenge, for everyone's health challenge, there is no one size fits all. It's about finding out exactly what's right for you, what's going in your body. We talk a lot about epigenetics, and epigenetics referring to the things outside of our genes that influence which genes we have switched on or off at any point in time. And these are the things like the food you eat, the exercise you do, the interactions you have with people socially, the amount of stress you're under, the amount of sleep you get, the environment and climate that you live in, your natural talents and genius. All those sorts of things actually influence which genes you have switched on and off, which means that influences what your health is at any particular point in time. And so we're now understanding that a lot more with a lot of science and research that's coming out to say, hey, there is no normal. There never has been a normal. It's obviously common sense that of course everybody's different. There's not one single person on the planet that's the same. Everybody's different. Even identical twins that share the same genetics have different expressions of those genes. They're different people. And so it's really a time, it's a really exciting time actually in society where we're realizing that. And we're coming together and saying, hey, we should actually start to do a bit more individualized things here. We should start to be a lot more personalized and understand how unique we are and what we need. And that was the key for me, is to find out what I needed at that point in time, and change that and do what was good for my body, which is why I was able to overcome what I did. And it's actually the same for everybody. We talk about it's not the same for everybody, but it's the same principles for everybody. Right. That find out what's right for you and do that. And that's really what we spend most of our time on. And I guess from an entrepreneurial perspective, we're really focused on sharing that information with people. And it really is quite a difficult thing at this point in time, because health is such a tough topic. As you shared, just beautifully before, we're at a stage where, what would you like to choose? To live in a state of disease, or would you like to choose health that comes forward, with the alphas that are being born now? We see it very much from a place of prevention, and right. The way that we are in society at the moment is very reactive. We're grown up in that society. We're grown up to say, "Are you healthy?" You say, "Yeah, of course I'm healthy." Well, how do you determine that? Well, I'm not. I don't have any pain, and I'm not sick, so I'm healthy. It's the absence of that, and so we grow up in a society where we don't do anything about our health until we get pain or until we have sickness, and then we'll go see our doctor, or then we'll go and do what we need to do. The problem with that, in terms of our human psychology, is it's actually the other way around. That if we wake up with pain one day in our tummy and we go see the doctor, we'll get a scan done and maybe we've got stomach cancer. We didn't just wake up with cancer that day. We've actually had that growing in our bodies for 5, 10, 15, 20 years sometimes. Even though we didn't have symptoms, we thought we were healthy. We weren't healthy at all on the inside. And that's really what we're trying to do, is to help people understand that, hey, even though you maybe don't have symptoms or pain right now, how do you know how healthy you are? How do you know what's right for your body? And how do you know what's going to prevent these things happening in the future? And that's really our message. And that's what we're able to provide now very, very concisely for people, is to be able to help people understand exactly what's right for their body, and not just the foods and exercises, but the climates they're in, the people they hang out with, the sort of stuff they do with their time, how much sleep they get, time of day that even exercise. Very specific information now based on these concepts of personalized health that really is making a huge difference and a huge impact. And we've been having some great conversations at very high levels with governments and organizations in the United States, in countries overseas, everywhere else, about this, and talking to United States Army and World Health Organization, United Nations, all these big conversations that are happening about preventative and personalized health and precision medicine and health that's really coming to the forefront now. So it's great to see that this is gaining a lot of traction. It's great to see that this conversation is starting to come into society more. And we certainly see that over the coming years and generations, that this will be very much a preventative conversation where why would you choose disease if you know what can prevent it? And that's really what we're working hard on at the moment. And we're really excited to be pioneering the way actually in epigenetics and personalised health. And we're having some great conversations about that with PH360.
Great. And you touched on a couple of things that I think, whether you're a social entrepreneur or a business entrepreneur, you saw a pain point. And so many of our businesses come out of identifying a personal struggle or an issue that we thought, you don't want that for someone else. And so you started, again, looking at your bio and reading some of your background. You've created I'll say a mobile app that's, you like most of us who are an entrepreneur, you did your research. Looks like you built a team, collaborated with others, and now have created a mobile app, which most of us live, I'll say, have our smartphones attached to us during our waking day. So I think choosing to deliver this, and I like that word you used, precision healthcare. I think that was a term you used, because that is micro-targeted to the individual. So having that smartphone that is normally in your hand actually help manage your health. Can you give us a little bit of an idea for people who might be thinking an app might be a way to deliver their solution? Because I see this as a solution.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, from our mission point of view, PH360 is just like having a team of doctors and health professionals, neuroscientists, like everything in your pocket or in the palm of your hand. That's kind of what it is. And so we're looking to think, how can we get to everyone in the world? Like our mission is to reach everyone in the world. How do we do that? And obviously through the technology, that's going to be the only way that we're going to be able to achieve that in this day and age. And so we developed an online platform that can be used where people can interact and engage with that. And now we're in the process, it's actually really quite exciting, of developing this into what we call the personal health assistant. And this is more than any other personal health assistant that can kind of be out there where it sort of aggregates data. This is actually personalized for you. And there's nothing out there that exists like this at all. And we're actually in the throes of launching that at this point in time. And in about the next 3 or 4 weeks, we're going to be going live with a pre-launch of this, where we've taken the technology that now combines all the data on you, and it actually pulls all your personal data together, which is PH360 can give you all the information on the exact foods to eat, how often to eat it, exercise, time of day, climates, going where you can go on vacations, all these things that are very personalized to you, but 100% evidence-based. And it's now putting it into a format where it's going to be intuitive and interactive that can actually talk to you in advance. It's if you think Siri for the Apple phone, it's Siri, but for your health. And we're calling that Shay. Okay. And Shay is your personal health assistant that talks to you just like Siri, that interacts with you. It'll say, hey, Judi, we know it's the best time for you to be eating dinners in the next hour. Would you like would you like to order out, or would you like to eat out tonight? Or would you like to eat in? And then you can just talk and interact and say, I'd like to eat out, thanks. And I'll say, great, Judi, scanning the local restaurants in your area. And it will scan through and say, Judi, restaurant X has the duck salad, restaurant Y has the chicken soup that are great for you, for your body at this specific moment, this specific point in time. Would you like us to book a table or order for you so it's ready at the right time for you to eat for your body? So this is what we're developing at the moment, putting that into the platform, and that'll be ready this year. And we're really, really excited about that from our point of view, to be able to help change so many lives. This is where we are able to reach tens of millions of people and more. But from the entrepreneurial point of view, for those who are listening in that are thinking, how can I get an idea that I've got where I want to help people, where I'm really, really passionate about what I want to do. The technology is really such a huge part of our society these days. For people who still want to fight it, and it's harder, like generally the older generation, it's more difficult, because we want to go back to the old school. As you suggested, the alphas are growing up. The 4-year-old is sitting there with an iPad and a mobile phone, and they know how to use everything. No one's taught them. They just pick it up and away they go. This is the generations that are coming through, the Gen Ys, even the Gen Xs are all over the technology. Things are happening. I speak a lot about, as you know, about future health and future medicine, and whether we like it or not, the technology is going to be a very big part of our lives. And so we're really trying to be in a space where we say, well, how can we, rather than trying to go against technology, how can we harness the benefits of technology? How can we bring that towards a really positive base, and work towards having that in our lives, and really take advantage of that in a big way and get to where we need to get to. So.
Fantastic. You touched on a couple of things that I just want to go back on. You mentioned, so tell me, is this in beta? That was my next question. I get the Siri analogy. Is Shay in beta development, or where is it at, and how soon can it be in the palm of someone's hand?
Yeah, that's a great question. Actually, we're in the middle, and this might be interesting for some listeners that are here, because I understand there's a lot of entrepreneurial minds and people looking to launch their own ideas. We're in the middle of a Kickstarter campaign that we're going to be launching April 7 at this stage in about the next 3 or 4 weeks. And for those that are interested in how you actually go about that, I'd love to just share for a few minutes, if you like, on that process, because there's a lot of learning lessons about
doing Kickstarter. Though? I'm a Kickstarter alum, so I know that.
There you go. So it's something that we've put together. We've got a team of almost about 200 people that's behind us. So we're doing a very big campaign. We're looking to raise quite a lot of money to be able to successfully finish Shay as soon as possibly can. And for that, we've put together a really large team, and we're going through a lot of different processes. At this point in time, we have, just so people can get an understanding of what's behind something like this, we have 6 different pre-launch pages that we have. We have one focused on the US and one focused on other countries, because the messaging is different, use of S's and Z's and different understanding of languages. We have a landing page that's focused on people who are interested in world health conversations and world solutions, where the messaging or the conversations will be around, are you looking to make a big difference in the world, looking to reduce pain and disease that exists? And then we'll have another page that's a conversation more about the tech. Are you looking for this cool, are you interested in this cool new technology that's out there, cool new technology that's going to be able to change great things, tell you what foods to eat, what time you should go to bed, how many calories you've burnt, those sorts of things. That's another sort of, another way that people think that will resonate a lot more with them. And we talk a lot, because we know and we understand people, personalized health is our area. We know that everybody's neurotype is different, and so everybody resonates with different language. And we have a conversation with other people who might be more about the family aspect and looking after their family and longevity and health and anti-aging, as we hear. And so there's a lot of different conversations that resonate differently with different people. And it's interesting, because usually if you are talking about marketing for business or anything like that, it's important to have your one brand message and tagline and all these sorts of things. Whereas what we find is that it's actually the other way around, is that if you just have the one, it doesn't resonate with that many people. And when you have something that's so big and you're so passionate about, like we're talking about personalized health that can actually influence everyone, our challenge is to say, well, how can we have a conversation that resonates with everybody, because it's relevant with everybody? It's not just a specific little niche. And so I just encourage people, if they're thinking about that, to consider like the audience that this is going to go to. There'll be some people listening in that may just have a specific niche, other people that have a great idea that they want to help change the world in some way and have a really big impact and give back if they've done other things in their life so far. And that's what we're really finding out is the biggest way and the best way to be able to give back. And so at the moment, we have 6 different landing pages that we have available. We have a lot of social media strategies that we're using to be able to talk on different platforms like Twitter. Here we are having this conversation on Facebook, on Instagram and LinkedIn and many other platforms that can reach different people who like to interact with different platforms. To know that if you're in an audience, just to put something on Facebook means that you miss a lot of people who like Twitter. The Twitter people don't use Facebook as much, and the Facebook people don't use Twitter as much. And that's kind of important to understand the different platforms that exist, so you can have, and even on different platforms, the messaging is different, even just for the platform, let alone in those different subgroups. And so for those that are interested, I'd love, if you want to go check out what we're doing, you can probably see it live and follow us live. If you're interested to find out exactly what we're doing, you can go to ph360.me/personal health assistant. And that's going to be where you can find out a lot of information. And you want to check out any of the landing page things that we've got going on at the moment, personal health assistant.ph360.me is where we have a lot of the pre-launch information. And that's where you can, and what a pre-launch is for those that don't know, is this is where people can go to the page and they can sign up and say, wow, this is fascinating. Would love to leave my details with you. And when you go live with it, we'd love to hear about it. And that's really what we're in at the moment. When we get to April 7 or thereabouts, that'll be when we launch our Kickstarter campaign, which is just a crowdfunding platform. There's many platforms like Indiegogo and others that you can use. And on that's where we actually have an offer, like we talk about Shay, talk about the personal health assistant with everybody in the world. and they can come and they look at that page and they'll see a couple of videos about Shea and about the product and how it's going to help people, and they can go ahead and they can purchase Shea before it's been finished. And that's what crowdfunding is, for those that aren't aware. It's like if you like, it's a pre-sell
Right.
of the product before it's finished, and then you can use that money that people commit to in advance to use that to finish development of Shea and or whatever your product might be at the time. And so we're documenting this process as we go, and it's really exciting, and it's really we learn a lot as we go. And we've got a really great team behind it in all different areas of we're outreaching for media across America, across Australia, throughout Asia and Europe. We've got a really big celebrity outreach program where we're really trying to reach as many people as we can. So for those who are passionate about health, we'd love for you to join us and come and have a conversation with us. And for those who want to just jump on board and see what we're doing so that you can figure something out for yourself in a similar fashion, we'd love to have you join and see what we're up to and be part of it, because I really strongly believe that together, all of us on this planet can make a big difference if we've got things that we're really passionate about and things that are going to make a big impact. Then we're big supporters of collaboration. So I'd love for you guys to jump on and check that out. And ph360.me is the site, and you can kind of get to anywhere you need to get to from there.
Right. Well, I'll stop you there because there are a few things. I did want to mention that one of your team from PH360 did find us. So welcome, Pam. Thank you for joining us. I'm glad you did find the directions and you got here. So great to have you watching and listening live. And I did want to circle back because you touched on a few things that have come up in conversation recently, is a marketing aspect. What I've seen, and again, I believe social media is driving it. For so many years, the marketing model was purely business to business. And when I say business to business, not your regular B2B, but it was just about your ROI, what your exit strategy was going to be, what your forward thing, I'll say your exit strategy, and just, I'll say purely business. What I'm seeing now is a real effort to make a person-to-person connection. And that, again, Matt, highlighted that part. It is not just one message. He has multiple messages going out to different target markets. And I think if you're starting off as an entrepreneur, yes, you do want to have that bottom line message, but know that you are going to have to customize it. And you have rolled out six. And again, what I also wrote down, this is a global movement. And for many of us, our mission can easily be translated to reach other populations than those next door. So again, I really want to encourage you to, yes, have a strong marketing message, but also know that that is going to have to evolve, and that it evolves in a very human, one-on-one, I'll say, connection. The other thing I wanted to highlight is that Matt talked so much about the different areas. Again, I had the pleasure of talking to Temple Grandin, and she's identified 3 types of learning. And so even if we just take that basic, we know we're going to have to try multiple, I'll say, strategies to get people on board. And what you're hearing from Matt is he's using multiple strategies on social media and connecting with other. And lastly, and he said it best, is that collaboration. He's not doing this alone. He's recruiting stars. He's got a team of 200, and he is making an effort, again, by the way he's using his marketing message, the way he's building a team to start that collaboration, so that, as entrepreneurs, we start off alone, but we don't finish alone, because we need that support along the way. So I wanted to make sure you heard that message in that segment. And we're quickly wrapping up. We've got about 5 minutes or so. So Matt, I heard about your start. I've heard about this great technology. And now I'm looking at how you're, I'll say, packaging this to go. There's a couple things here. If someone is hearing this from either a health, a neuroscience, or a social justice hearing, what can they do to support you? How do they, what is what can they do to support you? Because for those of you who are watching right now, I'll have links to Matt's website and all those details. But like I say, we don't do this alone. So ideally, these people will follow you. But what else can they do to support you in this mission? Because it is a mission.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for asking that. It's a great question, Judi. And I think one of the biggest things to realize that even though we're talking about business today, is I really believe that business is not about business. It's just about having a lot of passion, a lot of purpose, and the connections that really matter in life. And that's what have people join what you're doing, join the movement, join and collaborate together and really gather together to be able to make a change in something that people share common passions with. And that's really what we're all about, is that even though you can talk business metrics about it from a business angle, it really is about people who share, like for us, who share a passion to change world health and the state of disease that everybody's in. The latest statistics, 1 in 2 people are going to experience cancer in their lifetime. This is a preventable and reversible thing. It's something that we're here trying to help share that message now, and we're hoping that more and more people become passionate about that. The fact is now, I don't know if there's anyone left in the world that wouldn't have a friend or a family member or a parent or a son or a daughter that doesn't suffer from some sort of pain or sickness or disease or illness. It's so rife now, and the real key is here that we can change that. Like, we are actually in control of our health. Like, we get to choose what actually happens to our body, and there's a lot of parts to that, and we really break it down and make it simple. So I'd really encourage anyone who resonates with that, anyone who has either experienced or suffered that themselves or with family or friends, to really join us. What we're doing is a global health movement, and we work under the Ultimate Human Foundation, which is an overarching non-profit foundation whose mission is to eliminate all chronic pain and disease by 2050. And so we're rolling out a 50-year plan at the moment. We've got 35 or 34 years left now on that plan, and we're seeing some amazing advancements in this personalised health aspect, and many other things are going to be changing the future of health and the future of medicine, and we're really excited about that, and we can make a difference as long as we all make a difference. This isn't just a top-down approach that's going to work. The reason we have these conversations with Shay and with PH360 is so that everybody can have this in the palm of their hand and take their own health into their own hands. And we're really looking to empower each individual, because it's actually us that can control our own health. It's us that take advantage of changing our health. It's not waiting for an insurance company or a government to make a new legislation. It's actually us who change that. And we're really looking to empower everybody. So if that resonates with you, if this is something you're really passionate about, please join us. You can visit the Ultimate Human Foundation or ph360.me and see exactly what we're up to. And there's ways that you can get involved. As we mentioned, at the moment, we're looking to get as much media outreach as we can and connect with celebrities and all those sorts of things for the purpose of changing world health. That's why we're doing this. And so if you do have any connections, we'd love for you to reach out and let us know. If you want to join the team of amazing people that we've got that's working on this amazing project of heart-centered, passionate people, please reach out and indicate you'd love to join us. We're an open arms organisation that we love to welcome passionate people to part of what we're doing. So we really appreciate that. And Judi, thanks so much for having us here on the call today. I really, really appreciate
You're very welcome. So since we don't have our personal health assistant in our hand, but we do have the expert, what would you like to leave our audience with one piece of advice on how they can start today before they own that, have Shay on their phone?
Sure. Well, the most important thing is just to understand that you can actually make a difference to your own health. If you are suffering, or if you have friends or family that's suffering, we actually have the information and the technology available today to change that. That's what PH360 is. So please check out ph360.me. It will have all the information, all the advice that's 100% specific and personalized to you to change your situation. So you don't have to feel helpless or hopeless or confused anymore. It's there. It's all there. So please go ahead and take advantage of that if you need. That's why we've spent over a decade developing this with the most amazing minds all over the world. So this information does exist. So that's the first protocol, is know that you can do something and you can choose to change your health at any time if you want to. I really encourage you to check that out. And the second thing is to find something you're passionate about and go and support it. Like, we'd love to have any conversations, anyone listening in here right now, whatever area of life that you're passionate in, if you can spend more time in your passion, if you can have a nice free mind that's enjoying life, that's being happy, that's being enjoying fun, great experiences, that's what life is all about at the end of the day, is happiness and joy and these amazing experiences we get to have, and that's what it's all about. So if you find yourself in any direction or any other space other than that, then just choose to go and find something you enjoy. If you don't like the conversation, go and change it at any point in time. And our mind is very, very powerful in how it relates with the body and vice versa. And if you can be in a happy space where you're really enjoying life, that is what it's all about. And that's a real space of love that we talk about in a different conversation that really does change everything. And we actually do research on how that can affect physiology and health. So be in an amazing space, enjoy things, smile, laugh, sing, dance, whatever makes you smile and laugh is really, the answer to life. But just know that you have the power to choose your own health at any point in time. And really encourage everybody to realize that and take advantage of that, because it's your life. You're here, you get to choose what you want to do in this life. So please choose wisely.
Fantastic. All right. So again, I've been talking to Matt Riemann, and the nuggets of wisdom that he's left us with is that you can do something about it. And with that is do it with passion, find something you enjoy, and that there is hope. So there's no need to, you can call it several things, but living with passion is really what I'm hearing from Matt. So whether from an entrepreneurial perspective or a health care perspective, there is something you can do, and you can start it today. So that finishes up our conversation today with Matt. And this has been Encore Chat. I'll have links to Matt's organizations and his programs in the YouTube bio. So if you have any questions, we'll be able to get them answered. So just look for those links. And thanks again for joining us on Encore Chat. It was a pleasure to meet you, Matt.
Thank you so much, Judi. Thank you all for listening in.
You're very welcome.